Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of our Town Hall series hosted by Certified PA Consulting. I'm Kasey D'Amato, president of Certified PA Consulting. We have been around since 2009. We are a group of PAs. We also have experience in business management for medical practices. We have experience owning businesses, selling businesses. We are a certified life coach as well. So we help PAs and NPs and physicians navigate the waters of salary negotiations, of career advancement, career transitions, making an exit, changing clinical to non-clinical, or starting a business. All the things that they don't teach us in PA school or medical school or nursing school are the things that we help with, business related, career related, and we help people with one-on-one private coaching over the phone. Usually in 1 hour sessions is how we help people. We've been doing this for well over a decade, and we've helped thousands and thousands of people navigate the waters of negotiations or advancing their career, making a major career change, which can be really stressful. And sometimes we work with those clients over a period of time to make a big career change or plan an exit or plan a move and things like that. So we help people. We put out a video every single week. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Check them out on our YouTube channel, certifiedpaconsulting.com, as well as on our website. So this week we're talking about how to prepare for your annual review, and should you expect an automatic increase in salary? It's an interesting question, right? It comes up a lot with our clients. It's time for the annual review, and maybe you're somebody who doesn't have an annual review, so you have to bring up the time to negotiate every couple years. And should you expect a raise automatically just because time has passed? It's an interesting question, and the answer is a little bit vague, but let's talk about why. If you work in a big hospital setting, oftentimes you will have more structured, regular annual reviews, like with HR or what have you. In a small private practice, that's not always the case. You may not have a review for many years because it's just a very casual, small, intimate, couple provider practice, and it's just not formal like that. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it also is okay to bring up the topic of having a review, how you're doing, what could be better, and talk about your salary. And that's perfectly appropriate over a period of time. Typically, we recommend once a year to 2 years at the beginning of your career, and then maybe later on in your career, you can go a little bit longer because there's probably not a material change every single year. So can you expect an increase in salary every time you have these conversations? Let's talk about why or why not. If you work for a large hospital setting, oftentimes there is an inflation or cost of living increase sort of built in. And you would know this, or you would want to ask this when you first get hired on, if there is something like this built into the contract. And oftentimes there is, because these type of systems are negotiating on a large scale with payer types, insurance, Medicare, what have you. So oftentimes they can negotiate on that side on how they're getting paid, and then they can pay it forward, literally, and offer that increase to the providers. So if you work for a large entity, it can be guaranteed a small cost of living increase every year, what have you, like 2% to 5%, something like that. In small private practice, that's not going to be the case. There is not going to be a guaranteed increase for quote unquote cost of living increases. In fact, it can be the opposite, because small businesses, small practices can feel the sting with the economy, with another provider who leaves, who retires, or it hasn't been replaced yet, or if they're expanding and they're building and the cash flow is going there, so they don't have a lot of extra cash. In a small practice, the cash flow ecosystem is a bit more fragile, and they don't have the negotiating power to negotiate with the payer types with as much power as the large hospital system. So in private practice, small groups or small multi-specialty groups, it's not going to be guaranteed cost of living raise every year. That's not going to be the case. It just doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. They're going to be able to give raises when it makes sense. So let's talk about when it makes sense. So it makes sense to ask for a raise. Certainly if you're a new grad and you're coming into year 2 or year 3 and you're so much more productive and you're seeing so many more patients and your collections are so much higher and you're growing, 100% that makes sense. So let's talk about those of us that are 7, 10 years, 15 years into our clinical practice. And then does it make sense for that increase in salary? Maybe or maybe not. it can make sense if your goals are aligned with a practice. So if you are very much a revenue driven person, and you really like those big bonuses and they're based on productivity and you're happy seeing more patients, then and the facility really promotes that and encourages it, then you can negotiate for a higher salary. Sometimes it's a matter of sitting down and talking it through. Maybe you need another medical assistant or scribe or something so you can see even more patients, bring in more money, they pay you more. It's a win-win for everybody. So that's if you're a revenue-driven person. If you're a non-revenue-driven person and that just sounds exhausting to you, are you doing something that brings non-revenue value? So that could be if the practice values, let's say marketing, for example. So in my specialty, dermatology, some practices really thrive on marketing. So they love it when some practices love it when providers are active on social media and things like that, attracting more patients. Not every practice, so be careful. This is why I said before, your goals have to be aligned. They have to value the same thing that you can bring to the table. So if revenue is not your thing and it's non-revenue, it could be anything from marketing to management to bringing in research studies. What else could you do to bring value to them other than patient productivity? So if you're in a big hospital system, yes, that annual review and cost of living increase may be guaranteed. Make sure you ask about that when you start your job. If you're in small private practice, it's not guaranteed. So you want to make sure that your goals are aligned with their goals, whether it's revenue or non-revenue. How are you bringing value to them? And then the third point to think about when you think about are you going to get or can you expect an increase of your annual review is your salary ratio. And the salary ratios have to do with the money that you're generating, the collections that are coming in from your activity, from your patient volume or your RVUs, and how much you cost the practice. So that's your salary, bonus, benefit package, those kind of things. So there's a certain ratio and you really can't be over like 35, 40%. And that's if you have some dedicated staff, you kind of have to account for them as well. So that's really a healthy business model. Can't really afford more than that for the PA or NP to cost the practice. So you always want to evaluate to see if you're in a healthy salary ratio, not just salary, but your cost to practice ratio, salary, bonus, benefit package, and sometimes even to some staff if you have staff that are dedicated only to you. So if you're not sure how to figure out this ratio and what it all means, we have an on-demand course called Master the Boss Mindset Master Course. It's 100% on demand. It's 4 modules. It's about 4 hours and you can do each module individually. Actually, it's a little more than that. It's about 5 to 6 hours, but you can do each module individually. Comes with a workbook and we teach you exactly how to do that. It's more than I can talk about in this short video. So take advantage of Master the Boss Mindset. You can claim Category 2 CME for it, so up to about 6 hours of Category 2 CME. You can claim for that course. So if you're unsure how to negotiate, and if you don't work for a large hospital system where that cost of living can be built in every year, cost of living increase, and if you're going to be someone who has to really negotiate, then and you're uncomfortable with that, I highly recommend checking out Master the Boss Mindset Negotiation Masterclass on our website. We only offer it a couple times a year. We have it open right now at the end of the year because lots of people negotiate at the end of the year. And it will teach you everything that you need to know about negotiating, what's realistic, what isn't realistic, what works, what doesn't work, and why. So if you are uncomfortable negotiating and you are someone that you will need to negotiate because it's not automatically built into your contract to have a cost of living increase, then go to our website, certifiedpaconsulting.com, or click the links below. Look for Master the Boss Mindset Negotiation Masterclass. And that is the class that you want to register for while the registration is open. It's only open for a couple of weeks at a time, a few times a year. It's a lot of work for our team behind the scenes to manage that course. So take advantage of it when it's open. You can claim Category 2 CME and you will learn everything that you need to know. If you are a very nervous negotiator, you can bundle it with private coaching. So you'll get the course and you can bundle it with private coaching with myself, my team, and we will sit down with you on the phone for an hour and we will talk through your specific situation, your exact strategy so that you will know exactly what to say, why it will work, and if you get rebuttals, how to deal with that. So you can bundle it with private coaching as well. So Take advantage of this resource. We made it for you to make it accessible. You can get it with and without private coaching. So make sure you check it out. We're wishing you all the best out there. Check out all of our other free videos, and I will see you on next week's Town Hall video series.